Greetings and welcome to 1000 PS TV. Kawasaki has revamped the Ninja 1100 SX for 2025, and there's also a new SE variant. I'll be sharing all the details about both shortly since we've already had the chance to ride them. Stay tuned. Excellent. That means you're interested in the Ninja 1100 SX and SX-SE, debuting in 2025. Let's go through the basics briefly, starting with the technical specs, as most elements remain unchanged. First, let's talk about the engine. The name now says 1100, though Kawasaki understated the Ninja 1000's capacity in the past at 1043 cubic centimeters. The updated version has 1099 cubic centimeters, making the 1010 name almost accurate. This increase is achieved through a 3mm longer stroke while maintaining the 4-cylinder configuration. The engine gains some torque, now at 113 Newton meters, available 400 RPM earlier at 9600 RPM. However, peak power has dropped slightly, down by 6 horsepower, now rated at 136 horsepower. But this power is reached at 9,000 RPM instead of 10,000 RPM in the previous model. Naturally, the engine complies with the new Euro 5+ standard. Another noteworthy update is the gearing. The 5th and 6th gears have been lengthened, while the first 4 gears are shorter. This modification is intended to provide lower RPMs on highways and improved fuel efficiency. Other updates include a slightly larger rear brake disc, now either 267mm or 270mm in diameter, up from 250mm. The front retains the 300mm disc, but the SE version gets dual 300mm Brembo discs with Brembo M 4.32 calipers. The suspension components come from Showa, including the fork. In the standard version, the shock absorber is from Showa, while the SE variant comes equipped with an Öhlins unit. Otherwise, the suspension travel remains the same for both. As always, I'll include all the technical details in the report below. For those curious about the specs, the fork is fully adjustable on both versions, while the rear shock offers rebound and preload adjustment. Now for the weights. The standard version is 235 kilograms and the SE version is 234 kilograms. This makes it significantly lighter than before, if the numbers are correct. The last time we had a Ninja 1000 SX, back in 2021, it weighed 244 kilograms fully fueled. The fuel tank capacity remains unchanged at 19 liters for both models. Let's move on to where the changes are, the features. The SE variant now includes heated grips as standard, and there's a USB-C port located at the handlebar. However, I must admit, the USB-C port looks a bit like an afterthought or an accessory add-on rather than being fully integrated. I'm not sure why Kawasaki didn't simply replace the 12-volt socket in the fairing with a USB-C one. If they wanted it on the handlebar, they could have designed a sleeker unit. It looks a bit odd, but isn't a big deal. For assistive systems, we have cornering ABS and traction control. The TFT display is the familiar 4-inch unit, clear and easy to read, although now considered on the smaller side compared to competitors. It gets the job done though. A quick shifter is included as standard, and there's also cruise control, which Kawasaki is well known for. The only small issue I have with it is that when the cruise control is activated, it doesn't show the set speed, only set. And only when you manually reduce the speed does the target value appear, so to speak. What is not included as standard with this bike are the panniers. They are an optional extra even for the SE variant. For the SE version, as mentioned earlier, there are heated grips with 3 adjustable levels. I just wanted to add that, so now I've introduced the bike to you. We also have adjustable levers at the front, so after my recording, I rode about another 100 kilometers. Kawasaki had put together an excellent route for us on the TomTom, which we got to experience here in the northern part of Barcelona. I need to add a bit to my earlier comments. Firstly, I spoke a lot about the rear shock's handling, but didn't mention the fork. In terms of responsiveness, it does an excellent job overall. The bike feels incredibly stable and precise. However, impacts are felt quite strongly through the handlebars, so it might not be entirely at top level in this regard. Otherwise, I must say that the bike is truly at an outstanding level. and one of the reasons I was able to build a good level of confidence in it, even in the low temperatures, is undoubtedly due to the Bridgestone S23 tires chosen as the stock option. These are very sporty tires that performed impressively well, even in cold conditions. Despite the chilly temperatures and the occasional dampness caused by morning fog, the 190 rear tire consistently found good grip, and Bridgestone has done an excellent job here. How long such a tire will last on a 1000cc bike is another question. It might not be the ideal choice for touring, and some may consider switching them out. However, with the 120/50-17 at the rear and 120/70-17 at the front, you're certainly well covered with options on the market. Of course, I already mentioned the weight. The Kawasaki, at over 230 kilos, isn't super agile, but for such a bulky motorcycle, it performs impressively well. When riding at a steady speed for an extended period, such as on the highway, with cruise control engaged, you might notice the 4-cylinder vibrations in your arms, which can cause a bit of tingling. This is something to be aware of, and I think it's not uncommon with 4-cylinder engines. However, it became more noticeable toward the end of my ride. Now let me move toward a conclusion. Is the Ninja 1100 SX and SX SE a well-executed upgrade compared to its predecessor, or does it have significant shortcomings? To put this into perspective regarding Kawasaki's intentions with this model, let's talk price. The Austrian prices are 16,700 euros for the standard version and 18,500 euros for the SE version. In Germany, it's cheaper since they don't have to pay Nova. I'll link all the current prices and offers near you directly on the 1000 PS marketplace below. Why? Because the bike will already be available from the end of November. Essentially, it's already here. Now back to where Kawasaki is aiming with this model. The competition hasn't been idle in this segment. When I first heard about the SE, I thought, okay, now it's going to get an electronic suspension, and Kawasaki is taking that step forward. That hasn't happened, but I still think the Ninja 1100X will find its fans. Price-wise, it's still significantly below the Ninja H2 SX SE, which offers electronic suspension, blind spot detection, and other advanced features. That's a completely different price point and level. Otherwise, I feel Kawasaki has addressed the weaknesses of the predecessor with this 1100X. Firstly, the electronics, particularly the traction control, which wasn't exactly cutting edge before, have been significantly improved, as I pointed out during my riding impressions. The new traction control now works as you'd expect, smoothly and reliably. The 4 ride modes, Road, Rain, Sport, and the customizable rider mode, don't offer much new to discuss. They function well and make sense. The gearing adjustments were an important change, allowing for slightly lower RPMs in the 5th and 6th gears to improve fuel efficiency. During my morning ride over the first 80 kilometers, I recorded a fuel consumption of around 6 liters. When pushing the bike a bit harder, it went up to 7.5 liters. So it's not the most fuel efficient, but probably slightly less thirsty than its predecessor. Finally, I have to say, the engine has genuinely improved and is now more practical for everyday use. It offers better mid-range torque, making it smoother and easier to ride, with less need for constant gear shifting. This makes it a successful update overall. As for the design, I had to take a second look myself. Now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments if you also had to take a second glance to realize this is a new motorcycle. In my opinion, it doesn't differ much from its already quite successful predecessor, but that's not for me to decide. Please share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed the video and want to give me and the bike a thumbs up, please do so. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have many more tests coming up from the southern regions of Europe for the 2025 model generation. Stay with us, take care, and ciao.